What's it like having a conversation with Gordon Lightfoot when you don't know it's Gordon Lightfoot? We talked to the man who discovered Elton John, the man who introduced Elton John to his songwriting partner, Bernie Taupin. The great Ray Williams talks about meeting and not knowing, or something like that, Gordon Lightfoot. A lot of people talk about that first performance in 1970 when Elton John came to the Troubadour in LA, and it was his big introduction to the North American market. Ray Williams was his manager at the time. As mentioned, Ray introduced Elton to his longtime songwriting partner, Bernie Taupin. Ray had been to LA before. It was the first stop for Elton John. He had worked for Sonny and Cher, had been an A&R guy and done publicity in that city off and on for a little while. He was very young. At that famous show, Leon Russell was there, Quincy Jones, and a guy he struck a conversation with every single night he was in LA with Elton John, Gordon Lightfoot. The thing is, he didn't know he was Gordon Lightfoot.
Who was in the audience, by the way? I know there was a lot of people showed up, which it did make him nervous when he found out, right?
Yeah, it made him more nervous. I mean, the biggest thing that made him nervous, I think, was seeing Leon Russell sitting in the audience. Neil Diamond had introduced him, at the Troubadour. So he got Neil to introduce Elton. There were a lot of people, Quincy Jones, I think some of the Eagles, just lots and lots of people.
What was that like for you? What was being in that?
I'd been to LA before. So, I can remember first time I went, I remember seeing the Doors doing their 2 weeks. They did a week first at the Whiskey A Go-Go. I was hanging around with all sorts of people at that time. So seeing well-known people there really didn't faze me too much. I guess Quincy Jones, seeing him afterwards, because he was always such a well-known man, as Quincy Jones arrangements and this, that, and the other. He was somebody that I really liked, and I met Gordon Lightfoot, who was a lovely man. I spoke to Gordon Lightfoot for a week. After every show at the Troubadour, I'd go out and have a drink at the bar with this guy who was sitting at the bar. Yeah. And we just sat there for a week, talking every night. And we didn't talk about anything other than until the very last night. He said, I won't see you again. He said, I'm going off back home. I said, where's that? He said, Canada. I said, oh, great. I said, what do you do then? Because we've been sitting there.
He'd never mentioned it once?
No, neither of us had mentioned anything. We were just having a great chat. He said, what do you do? I said, well, actually, I'm managing this artist here, Elton John. And that was so cool. So we'd had this wonderful conversation about anything from fishing to, just everything. And it was marvelous. And he said, my name's Gordon Lightfoot. I said, brilliant.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite Canadian artists. I just love Gordon Lightfoot.
When we moved to Chapel Hill and Raleigh, he did a show, and I really wanted to try and go along there, get to see it, but I had to go to England, so that moment was gone.
We're going to have 7 parts of our conversation with the great Ray Williams on our sister channel. This is our big channel, Rock History Music. If you want to check it out, there'll be links in the description of this video. This is Rock History Canada. We're just starting this channel, and we've got loads of Canadian interviews we want to share with you. Make sure you subscribe. Also, comment on our videos and share them on Facebook. We'd appreciate that. I'm John Beaudin.